you don't have to be the president or the, I don't know, a doctor or a lawyer or a recognized. Just do your part with your purpose always in front, and your values. Be driven by your values. And so I would say that the impact that I want to give to the world is empowerment. We think that being employed is a security, but is it? Especially with all of this that's happening. So I invite people to really look into their toolbox, into their expertise, into their creativity, and embrace the hustle and the gig economy.
Still remember that track. It was Chilling by Pool, something like that.
Yes, that's so funny. Chilling by the poolside, yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Startup Impact. I am Shivi, and our guest today on the show is the founder and CEO of JobJar, Naomi Pereira. Naomi created this platform to connect trades with technology. She also has some major achievements under her umbrella, including being awarded as the Immigrants of Distinction Award, Entrepreneurship Award, and Innovation Award. Her platform even got the recognition at the Calgary Chamber of Commerce. She is also a coach at the Startup Calgary. So please help me in welcoming Naomi Pereira. Naomi, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Hi, Shivi. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you today, Naomi. And Naomi, you are a true inspiration to the complete immigrant community. I am a newcomer to Canada too, and I would love to hear your story, your journey from Venezuela to Canada, and especially how you become what you become today.
Absolutely. I always say that I have been here now 19 winters. I count them by winters because coming from Venezuela, obviously, it's such a different climate. So let's see, starting with my journey from Venezuela. So I immigrated to Canada when I was 18. So I always say that my parents shipped me because I was at a stage in my life that I wanted to I graduated from high school and I had to really figure out what the rest of my life was going to be. So when they said, you're going to Canada, I said, okay, perfect. Let's go. I didn't know what I was, what was to be expected, to be quite honest.
The name of your company, JobJar, when I heard for the first time, it was so innovative. And I was like, how did she even derive that name? So how did that name came into picture?
I wish I could take all the credit, but no, the trick is to really surround yourself with brilliant minds. And we worked with a marketing company that came up with a few different derivations of that name. And when we heard JobJar, we thought, JobJar, it seems like you're seeking, for job seekers, but then it has an amazing story behind it. It turns out that it turns out that in the 1950s, women in family and households used to have a jar very much like my water jug here, and it had a lid, and the person who was running the household would put little papers that said, oh, you need to clean the garage, you need to paint this room, you need to do some spring cleaning, etc. And they would put them in that jar. And then the husband or the family members would come and pick one up when they had free time. So it is a very Canadian, North American custom. And when we got that explanation, it was, for me, yes, this is it.
That's such an innovative story, Naomi, and you have been a hustler. So I know we had this conversation before, but I would really love to know, and that how did the whole concept of JobJar started? How did that idea flow flow, and how did you make your thoughts into reality?
So, as I said, I came to Canada while I was young, and I went to study architecture, and I became a general contractor for interior design. So I did a lot of renovations, kitchens and bathrooms, closets. And during that 10 years actually that I was doing that, I did a lot of high-end, beautiful and fun projects. But I noticed that there was a hole in the industry. There was a huge gap that no one was paying attention to. And it had to do with the established contractors who are accessible to homeowners to find. So those who have websites and phone numbers, and they're a little bit bigger, they get sometimes requested, or many times requested, to do small jobs. And when I say small jobs, it's normally that do-it-yourself job that the homeowner just started or doesn't have the time or the knowledge or the tools. And so I got approached as a general contractor to do a lot of them, but it doesn't make sense once you reach a certain overhead to actually take those jobs on. And then at one point, I became a homeowner who wanted to do something small also in my house. And I kind of suffered the pains of any other homeowner, even though I'm in the industry. I didn't want to pull favors of my trades anymore. And I said, roll up your sleeves. I'm going to do this. This is a piece of cake, no problem. I know what to do. And it took me a month to do some flooring. And even though I had the knowledge and how in theory was supposed to go, it took me a month. And then I said, no way, I'm not going to do this for the second bedroom. And we found somebody that did it in under half a day. Okay, what took me a month. And I realized that the people who are great at the small jobs have been immigrants like me or you that come with a specific skill set. They're fantastic what they do, but they fall through the cracks. Like they sometimes don't integrate well with the industry. They don't know how to market themselves. They don't know how to run their business. They don't know how to really kind of get into that competitiveness field with everybody else. And the third, I think, reason is I love technology and the empowerment that really technology offers you or me or users out there. So it kind of came together and JobJar was born.
You had such a diverse background. And in fact, I was reading one of your articles before, which says that about your love for animals and your love for architecture. And I was reading that article and I was like, that is two huge diverse fields. How did she manage to choose one over another, and how did that choice went?
You know what? I think that I have really never made a one choice, and I'll explain. And so I wasn't sure what I wanted to do because of the two things that I really liked didn't really combine. And so I said, okay, well, I worked at a veterinary office for a while, and I realized that I didn't want to work with sick animals all the time. So I said, okay, check. It's not a vet in a city. But I said, maybe there is something that I can do abroad with wild animals. And I embarked into going to South Africa for a few months to volunteer with Verve monkeys. And in that experience, I learned so much, first of all, so much about myself, but really that wasn't also what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be in the middle of nowhere, actually disconnected from technology. It's always been a big part of my life. And I enjoyed my time there, but not enough to really say, this is what I want to do. So I came back and I said, well, you know what? Studying architectural technology in SAIT is going to give me a skill set that then I can apply in various industries, actually, in construction, residential. And that's what I did. I studied architecture, and nowadays animals are still my passion. I don't disconnect too much. I try, if I'm going to travel, I try to do kind of a responsible travel where if I can donate some of my time or support a local association that is giving back to conservation of animals, that's my first choice.
So it's actually truly knowing yourself and understanding what you really want to know and what you want to do ahead. So this is something really interesting about you, Naomi, and this is actually defines you who you really are. And in fact, I really want to share a story here as how we met. So uh, this is really amazing. So me and Naomi were initially connected over LinkedIn, but we never exchanged texts. So we meet at a virtual meetup platform during COVID by one of our common connection. And next thing we know is we are chatting after the meetup over LinkedIn. And I requested her to speak to me on one-on-one over Zoom. So this is the fun part. Our Zoom meeting starts. And normally it goes like a professional hello and what we are doing and about our designation. But I remember there was an amazing track playing on her Spotify. And I still remember that track. It was Chilling by Pool, something like that.
Yes, that's so funny. Chilling by the poolside, yeah.
And next thing I remember, we started talking about our tracks, and our conversation ended by you inviting me over to your place for a barbecue. Oh my God, Naomi, I have never seen any CEO being so welcoming, friendly, and compassionate. So that actually truly
Thank
defines
you.
as who you are.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind.
While our previous conversation, you were mentioning something um, about how people react when you're starting a new organization or starting a new venture. That you were saying that you meet a lot of people clapping your hands when you are at the start line, and then you meet them at the finish line. But
Mm-hmm.
nobody really want to know or put that hard work that goes in between, and that is something that you have to do on your own.
Yeah.
So like I would be very encouraged to know that what kind of a hardship you went while you were doing JobJar.
Oh my goodness, I'm still there. Because I feel, just to clarify, that the end result for a startup is different for everybody. What I mean is that middle where people are not looking at you anymore with that first push when you start is the most difficult. And I feel that personally for me in JobJar, I think I've been through mostly everything, if not everything. I hope a lot of it so I can enjoy the rest of it. But I would say mindset is the very first one, because everything that happens out there doesn't happen to you. It's how you actually see that circumstance that's happening. And we can, obviously, everybody can see it right now with the COVID, right? So we face, financial difficulties, like what are we going to do to finance the growth of our company, team challenges, growing too fast, not growing enough, opening and maybe narrowing down in what channels you want to focus on so you can advance at a steady pace, like the marathon. Again, in marathons, you want to go pacing and celebrating. One thing that I didn't learn on that, I was going to say, like the first part of that middle of the marathon is you don't stop to savor the small goals and the small achievements. And that's one of the things that I think that's a big failure, that I feel now. I'm like, okay, yes, this is one day at a time, and things that are happening that are positive, let's stop and enjoy enjoy them.
It's rightly said that entrepreneurship is a mindset, and being in our element, in our energy at every day is the crust of what you call it as somewhat success.
Yeah.
So you are a coach at the Startup Calgary. You have seen amazing results from your hardship. So what three advices would you like to give to any aspiring entrepreneurs who are watching our show today?
I think the first one I would say is uh, never stop learning. Always make sure that that you don't know everything, and that it's okay. Now in the era of technology, opening a lot more about what their learnings have been and what has worked for them. So never stop learning would be my first one. The next one is surround yourself with like-minded people, because as I said, the middle is really can be a lot of work, can be a lot of challenge for your mindset and your person, and you need somebody beside you that understands you, that understands your frustrations, your celebrations, all the hard work that you put into your business. And I think the third one would be, I always say you're as strong as your network, because as you're using them, for example, in my step 2 and my second suggestion, to be your foundation of strength, you have to be theirs as well. And that means also not looking for your own opportunities, but maybe looking for other people's opportunities out there in the world. So be connector, because the more we are, the more we are connected. Does it make
Yeah,
sense?
absolutely. Oh my God, that's a great way to say that and to put your points. Great answer. And I believe on all the 3 points, have a continuous learning, have a great environment, and always have a good network, because it's like the I cannot choose the environment I'm born to, but I can always choose the environment I want to live into. So
Exactly.
we as an immigrant, we completely believe into that. So that's a great way to put it, Naomi. And also, I know that you have been working 9 to 5 before, and you left that job, and then you took a decision to start the company. But during COVID, we have seen much job loss than we have seen ever before. So for any job seekers who is looking for an opportunities right now, what would be your feedback? What would be your takeaways for them who are watching the show, who can learn some tips and tricks from you?
Yeah. Well, let me share something quickly here. So JobJar was born from our last economy breakdown in 2017. And well, 2014, 2017, the kind of those years with the oil crash. And again, we saw a lot of people lose their jobs in oil and gas, and it was very depressing at that time. And when we started this opportunity, that was also one of my motivations to do it then, because my previous job that I was employed, we think that being employed is a security, but is it? Especially with all of this that's happening, is it? So I invite people to really look into their toolbox, into their expertise, into their creativity, and embrace the hustle and the gig economy. Because there are a lot of people, especially with the age of technology, that are like me, supporting individuals who want to take charge of their own life, basically, in that area, right? So it's not only me. Don't put yourself into one platform, into one opportunity. Seek out a lot of options, because they exist more than ever. And just have the confidence to really use those skills that you have in your toolbox.
Absolutely. And always have different skills. Keep exploring your
Yeah.
opportunities and keep uplifting your skills. I think those are super points for any job seekers out there. So, Naomi, this is my favorite part of the show. This is my last question, but my favorite question. What is the impact that you want to create in the society?
Oh my goodness, this one is a loaded one. Do we have another half an hour? I'm just kidding. This one is a fun one because it really taps into the dreamer of any individual. And the first time I heard this question, I felt a little like even imposter to think that I actually could impact, right? Just one individual. But then I remembered that saying that says that change starts with you, and be the change that you want the world to be. And then it clicked and everything came back to say, you know, you don't have to be the president or the, I don't know, a doctor or a lawyer or a recognized. Just do your part with your purpose always in front, and your values. Be driven by your values. And so I would say that the impact that I want to give to the world is empowerment. Empowerment of people who want to do good is number one, I think, in my wish list.
That's a superb answer, Naomi. In fact, I was thinking in my mind, if somebody would ask me the question, what would I reply to it? And then I had so many ideas, but the way you actually put it in the mixer and it just crushed all the ideas and you gave empowerment there. That's the answer. So very well said, Naomi. And so tell me, where can people actually find you if they want to connect with you and they want to see what you're doing and how they can take help from you?
Absolutely. So I'm happy to, be that, again, that network of support for somebody else, or reach out if you have any questions or anything. So my LinkedIn, so I shared it with you. So it's my first name, my last name, so we can put it in the notes. JobJar's handles for all of our social medias is JobJar Canada. And those are, I think, the most common ways to reach out.
Thank you so much, Naomi, for coming on the show. There was great learnings by you, and the kind of the impact that you want to create on the society is remarkable. You are a true star for our startup community. Thank you so much, Naomi.
Oh, thanks. No problem. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Hey everyone, that was Naomi Pereira on the Startup Impact Show. Should you like our show and our conversation, please subscribe my channel for us to bring more remarkable stories and build this thriving community. Also, if you are a job seeker or an aspiring entrepreneur and you want to ask questions from the industry leaders, please leave your questions in the comment box below and I'll make sure I ask them from the industry leaders in my next episodes.